Hey guys, Whiskey 3 Charlie Tango W3CT, your good old friend Jack. Today I'm out here in the garage because I want to do an antenna build. This is something that I've been thinking about doing for a while now. And I was wanting to take all this stuff out to the park. But to do so, you know, taking the tools out and doing things and building the antenna in the park. And I wanted to do that. But what I thought I would do today instead is to build the antenna here at home, put it up, because I'm also looking for another type of antenna for the house. So let's go ahead and get started right after this. All right guys, so what are we building today? Well, I'm going to build a resident antenna. I've told you guys about this in a prior video. And I wanted to build the cheapest possible resident antenna, resident, you know what I mean, perfect matched antenna with no balance, no ununs or anything else. And I figure I'm going to put up an inverted V is what I'm thinking. So, and I think I'm going to cut it 420 meters, okay? So this antenna, as the thumbnail says, is a $7.40, let me make sure I see this right, $7.46 antenna build. That's what it's going to be, okay? Now outside I am using a mast, I'll tell you that right now. I'm going to put it up on a mast, but you can hang this thing in a tree and it'll be perfectly happy in the tree. Let's go ahead and look over what I have sitting here that I'm planning on using for the build, and we'll get started to build the antenna, measuring the wire, getting it cut, and I'm actually going to do as much video as I possibly can of putting this thing up. Totally new to me. I've never put up really an inverted V. I guess I tried to fake one time at a park, but this is built as an actual inverted V. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started here. We're going to be cutting the wire, I can tell you, to 5.02 meters, which is 16.48 inches. 16 foot, 48 inches, okay? All right, let's look at some of the equipment here. Let's move this camera around a little bit, and we'll see if we can't bend this down. Let's see here what we can do to talk to you about the equipment without the camera being shaken all over the place. Don't really need my coffee cup in the shot there, so we'll move that up here. There we go. So I think that's about all we need to see. Yes, perfect. It looks good. Yeah, okay. All right, so we're starting out here. We're going to be using 16 gauge speaker rod. Now this is a 100-foot spool, okay? And the whole entire 100-foot spool was actually $12.88. Now, being I'm only used, you're like, hey, wait a minute, Jack. You're already going above your budget. Well, 100-foot spool, but remember, I'm cutting this down to 16 foot, 48 inches. All right, that would make it 12 cents a foot. So my total for the wire is $3.96. I'm only using $3.96. If you have wire laying maybe in your garage or in your shop somewhere, you can use really any wire you want. I just happen to use speaker wire. So I'll cut one length of this at, as I said, half a leg is 16 foot 48 inches, and then I'll split it. So that's all I'll need out of this. All right. Next up, a banana clip. Now Walt uses these a lot, the banana clip, and you know, since it's a balanced antenna, do we really need anything else? I know you're saying, Jack, you need a 1-to-1 balun. Well, I got that kind of covered because I got either on my coax, if I use that, I have an air choke, and on the thin coax I use for POTA activations, I actually have ferret beads on there. So to me, that's going to be a good enough 1-to-1 choke. We'll see though, but this is what we're going to use to put the antenna up. Okay, I'm still trying to figure out, oh, it looks like maybe if I might be able to put the zip tie right through there, I think. We'll look at that during the build though, but let's see if it'll just fit now. Look at that. Perfect. So that'll go right on the mast, okay? All right. Next thing you're going to need is some kind of strippers. These are ploy strippers I got from Harbor Freight or somewhere cheap. These aren't very expensive. Probably even Amazon. I like to use a pair of side snips. These are optional. You don't need these. You can cut the wire with the strippers. All right. We have 2 insulators. This could be anything. I was watching some military videos the other day. This can actually be plastic spoons. You can just use some plastic cutlery and poke a hole in them and use those for insulators. These happen to come from Amazon. You buy these in packs of, I don't know, 20 at a clip, I guess I bought. You get a bunch of these things, okay? A couple of those. You're going to need a tape measure, right? We have to measure the wire. So, and this just happens to have feet and meters, okay? So it should make it relatively straightforward. You're going to need two pegs, stakes, something to stake it into the ground with. Guys, you could use anything for this purpose. And the stakes themselves, I mean, they're just, these are cheap metal ones I bought. I didn't buy anything fancy. Again, I bought a pack of, I think, 10 of these for a few bucks off of Amazon, okay? I always have black tape because you never know when you need it. I use a Nano VNA. Some guys have really fancy antenna analyzers, or I don't have those. So I like the Nano VNA. This is the case I had on one of my videos. Go back, you can find a video on that. But it's a really nice case, but and I showed it on the video. So, but I'm going to use the Nano VNA just to check the SWR readings to see what we're getting on it. And then once we're all done, my main plan, move this camera back around here. Sorry about the movement of the cameras. I know. Jack, what kind of guy are you filming? Right? All right. Let's see if I got myself in shot here again. Okay. So anyway, it looks like I'm going to have to change the battery in that camera. And on this camera over here. So once I'm all done, my plan is to hook it into the G90. And I'm going to do some park hunting with it to see if I can get any parks. The reason for the build, the reason for a different antenna. Now I'm thinking of eventually, and I got my wife pretty much on board with this, putting up a hex beam. Okay, and I even think I found a hex beam that I'm going to buy. I can also build it, so I have some kits that I can possibly build one. So I have two options there, right? Two different options. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, the reason for building this is my antenna right now is hanging, like the sides of it is kind of northwest, southeast, you know. I wanted to get something where I got the sides focused on the east and the west. It seems I do most of my POTA hunting. Most people, I live in Pennsylvania, so most people are like out west from me or overseas in Europe. So we'll see how it goes. But again, this is just temporary. I'm putting this up. I am building this. I will use this on a POTA activation if it works. So hopefully everything works. All right, let me go ahead and change the battery in this camera. And we'll see how we can lay the wire out here to measure it. And we'll go from there and we'll start putting this thing together. All right, let's go ahead with the build. Okay, so I think the most probably non-scientific way to do this, first of all, how do you get the plastic off the cable? Let's get that off here first. I've been through a lot of speaker wire already. I was just telling my wife this morning, I have some antennas I built that you guys see I used in the field, and I really like them. They work well. And I think what's going to happen is I'm ordering connectors because, you know, I usually just strip the wire and just spin the wire, like strip it and just spin it on top of the terminal connectors, right? But I think what I'm going to do is buy some thinner wire, make antennas more permanent that I'm going to use all the time, and have those. But you know, I've been having so much fun to do a POTA activation with a different type of antenna each time. Now this is what I mean by non-scientific here. So I'm already leaving a little bit extra. You should leave a little bit extra room, and I'm trying to see this camera here, a little bit extra room because you're going to strip some of that insulation off of there. So that's not going to be part of the antenna that goes around the banana clip. So that's why I'm cutting this a little longer. So if you're going, Jack, your measurements are off. I am using, actually, I'm going to show you this iPhone tool. And I'm going to put a, you know what, right here, wait, I'm going to put a screenshot up right there of the tool that I use on the iPhone. And it's called Antenna Tool. It's free. And I'll actually save a picture of it here. I'm just going to save it in my photos. And what I'll do, I'll just put a picture in the video. All right, so I use the antenna tool to do the measurements. You can do the measurements, and I'm not going to give you the calculations like what you're doing here between the two. But anyway, I'm just making sure both of the cameras are in fact recording before we move on. They're both shining red, so I think they are, okay? All right, so what I'm gonna do here to measure this is I'm gonna take the end of the wire and I'm just gonna put a piece of tape on it, on the top, since I'm doing this by myself. I imagine you guys probably will be doing the same thing. You'll probably be doing this by yourself. Unless you have a wife that's into ham radio with you. Okay? All right. So if I put that on there, and then that way, as I pull this, as I push that tape measure out, I should be able to get a good measurement. So let's see here if this is going to work for me. Maybe I'll just pull some of this wire off of here first and just get this off of here on the floor. Figures I'd have to choose 20 meters instead of something shorter. See if that's enough there. So I'm thinking if I lay this on here and I can pull that out as I go along. I don't know if this is going to be the best way to do this or not. Nope, it's not. All right, so plan two. Plan two is hook this to something. And I don't know if I can show it to you or not, but I'll talk you through it. So I'm going to hook it onto something here. Onto my garage door, I guess. If it would stay, it'd be even nicer. And hopefully it'll stay there for me. I have it hooked on the edge of my garage door. It pulls off, it's going to be pretty bad there, but well, I'm at, the wire let go from the tape. I was afraid that was going to happen. All right. Okay, Jack, how are you going to measure this? It's not easy. If it was easy, nobody would ever, if it was easy, we'd all, I mean, if it was easy, nobody would ever buy another antenna, right? I'll put extra tape on here, so what I'm doing now is just throwing some more tape on it. Worst thing about that is going to be getting the tape off. Okay? All right. Let me try to readjust this camera over here, and I'll show you kind of what I'm doing, if it works this time. Okay? So what I want to do is just hook this tape measure. I wish it would stay on there better. And then pull it out. And not have the wire fall. Because if you're cutting, I figure if you're cutting a resonant antenna, it's got to be pretty dead on to what you want. And I said I need 5.2 meters. Yeah, it pulled out again. Oh man. All right. How am I going to measure this wire? How am I going to measure this wire? I don't know. I don't know how to measure the wire. I guess I'm just going to try to do a Walt method here. It is definitely not easy to do it, but I'm going to prevail here. I'm going to get it done. Try and put this down here a little bit so you can see what's going on. And bring this camera over here. I did put a new battery in it. Okay, put this somewhere like this. Up a little bit more maybe. So you can see my aggravation. All right, so anyway, I don't know, man. I don't like this tape measure either. But I'm just going to stick this wire back in there, right there. I'm just going to let the tape measure drop and just follow the wire. Okay, going down, going down. Still following it. Glad I don't have to do this one time, right? $280. Got 3. Yep. Probably the easiest way to measure it, I guess. 15. That's what I need to be at. 1648. There's 16. Okay, and there's 5. 5.2. 5.2. 5.2. Put a bend in that right there, just so I know where I'm at. I'm going to recheck my phone and make sure that was right. 5.2. Yeah, 5.01 meters. So that's 5.2. Could give it a little more because I can always cut some off. I can't put any back on. So I'll give it a little bit more here. We can cut it right there. That looks like about 20 meters. Let's go for it. All right. Cut and hope. All right. Next thing I do with my wire when I set these up is, let me pull this camera back over now. I know. Hey Jack, what with the two cameras? Well, a little bit different views here, okay? All right. Hardest thing was measuring and cutting the wire. I got it though. I got it cut. I just hope it's right. We'll find out though, huh? We put on a Nano VNA. It's not a bad day out here today. All right, so what I do with this wire, okay, this is speaker wire, so there's two different wires. There's the black side, and then there's the clear side, okay? The only thing I'm gonna do with this is just take my side snips, snip it down a little bit, okay? And I'm just gonna start pulling. So this way, I'll actually end up with the right and the left leg, okay? Instead of having to measure more wires, we don't do that. Right? Don't want to have to do that, measure more wire. So yeah, I'm just stripping it down now, just pull it apart. Right? I do like speaker wire. I used this on an activation yesterday, speaker wire, not this antenna, obviously. And I like it because of its flexibility. Once you pull it, I have little straps on my antennas. Once you pull those off, you could just throw this stuff in the field, man. It just comes unraveled. So, works really well. Again, this 16 gauge speaker wire. I mean, you could use whatever gauge you want, but it just happens to be what Amazon sells. So that's what I bought. Okay. 16 gauge. There we go. There's our two halves. Now, next thing we got to do is we're going to strip some off so we can put it around the terminal of our banana clip. Does it matter which side is which? No, but I'm going to put the black one on that side because that's how my brain works. All right. All right, turn this camera back around. All right, see what we got here. There's the wires. All we're going to do now is strip some of this off of here. So let's see here, we're 16 gauge is like right here, I think. 16. I know you may want to get yourself some better strippers. All right, I got one. Try to get the other one the same size, pretty much. Again, that's how my brain works. Anything I didn't bring down in the garage was my glasses. Because using the Nano VNA, I don't know if you guys ever use one, sometimes it's a little hard to see. Oh, come on. Come on, strippers. strippers leave a lot to be desired. All right. They definitely are not perfect, but they should be good enough for this job. Okay, so all I do now is I just twist these, and I know you're saying, Jack, you can solder those. And like I said, I can. As I build these antennas and I find what I want to use for POTA activations and taking the field with me, I'm going to rebuild them because I also want to get some wiring wraps. I think they call them kite wraps or something. All right, there's those. So get the black side. All right. Yeah, it's not too long. That's good. I think it's right. Okay. There's what I mean by the black side. Can you see the black stripe on that wire? I guess that would be the ground side of your speaker system. I'm going to put it on the black terminal. Just like so. Give it a little twist there. Tighten her down. No, I may want to try to run it if I can get it through that hole. I don't know now. I think it would go on it a lot nicer if I can get them tight enough. That wire's a little too big for that. Well, let's just go around the post then. Around the post, give her a little twist. Tighten her down there as tight as I can get her. All right. There's one side. This one goes that way. Take my other wire. Take it the other way. You should always, when you're putting wires, just so you guys know, I've did a lot of electrical work in my life. Put the wires on the way that the screws turn down, the way that the threads turn down. Don't go against them. All right. There you have it. That's pretty much the antenna right there. Okay. Put a connector on here. We'll see what kind of connectors I have to put on there. Let's see. I think I put one in here. I did. I'm going to try to use my small field coax. So I got these little splicer, barrel splicers. I'm going to put that in here. Just like so. All right. All right. The antenna is built. For all intent purposes, it is built. Okay. Like I said, I'm going to use this come on. Zip tie. I'm going to put it through one hole. And it's going to fall back out because that's the way life goes. Put it through one hole, into the other hole. And is it backwards? There we go. That's better. Put it through the other hole. I'm going to zip tie it to the mast. That should hold. Look how nice that fit. Look at that. Perfect. Okay. All right. I'm going to go out there and set the mast up. I'm not going to show you that. It's just simply my DX Commander mast. I'm going to set that up, and I will take you out. We're going to record putting the antenna up. All right, I'll see you there. Okay, to keep this thing very transparent, to show you everything that's happening, I might have messed up a little bit on this antenna build, and the reason is I wasn't leaving enough room for the insulators because I had to take the wire over and through the insulator. And apparently whenever you take the wire and you go back on itself, you lose that much of the wire. So if I think I cut this a little bit extra, so I had some to cut off. So hopefully it's not going to mess it up too bad. I'm going to have to recut the wire. And all I did to put that on there, get the other insulator here. I just took the insulator. There's really no right or wrong way to put them on. And I tried to make it the least amount of wire as I could down here, because I didn't want too much rolled back on itself. Now, that's another good tip for you, though. And you're saying, hey, Jack, how do you know so much about antennas? I did buy an antenna book off of Amazon. I'll have a link in the description below. that teaches you all this stuff. So you can actually tune the antenna just by simply pulling this wire back on itself. All right. So you don't always have to cut. You can actually pull wire back. I'm just putting some tape on here to hold these. This is just a temporary build anyway to see if it works. All right, there we go. Okay. So that's all I did. I'm going to put some paracord through this side down to the tent stakes, okay? I have the mast ready to go up, so I'm going to go ahead, move the cameras outside so we get underway and try to get this thing up in the air and see if we got what kind of match we have. All right, let's go from there. All right, let me go get the antenna. We'll put it up on the mast. We'll see if my my plan works. Not really sure. Better bring the tape with me. Okay, now let me make sure I still got audio here. Yep, I still got audio going. Okay, tent stakes, got those. Tape in case I need it. All right. One wire going one way. One wire going the other way. Don't knock the tripod over. All right. Antenna. And I didn't go all the way to the top because the top on these masts are really flimsy. So I'm going to try to go right here. It shouldn't pull it over. We'll see if this will tighten it up right here. This zip tie. See if that works out for me. All right, it did work out. Let me think here. Let me go get the coax. I'm gonna put the coax in there before I push it up. That'll probably be a smart idea. See where my secondary roll of coax is. All right. I don't imagine it'll have to be up super high, being on 20 meters. Make sure my microphone's still picking me up here. And let's see. Yep, okay, looks like it is. So this is the coax I'm using. This is just some cheap thin POTA coax. We'll see if it works. See how this one works. I do have a ferrite core in here wrapped. Like I said, I have beads on my other one. You guys probably seen that one on many videos. This coax isn't bad. It's not great either though. And I'll probably be putting another run on here because this isn't going to be long enough. Alright. I'll put that over there for now. Again, like I said, it shouldn't have to be up too high, I don't think. Alright. But what I wanted to put this on here because once you push it up there, you're not going to be able to get to it. And I can take a little bit of tape on there. Take a little bit of tape on here. Tape this to the mast. Give it some strain relief. And see what happens. Okay. All right, let's just start pushing her up there. We'll see how high we got to go to get our wires out. Because I'm not really sure. I don't expect it to be too high. Because we want the inverted V, right? We want an inverted V. And we're going to go up higher than that. We'll see what we get here. See where we're at now. Let's go up a little bit more. One more there. There, I think these are high enough off the ground, okay? They're almost dead even. That's good. I think this is, oh, there we go. I spun it around a little bit. All right. Actually, once you put these in, it's kind of going to act as guide ropes. All right, let me go get some paracord. Some paracord I have cut already. I don't want to. I think these are already cut. I do. I brought the tent stakes out already. All right, so all intents and purposes, I think I got these cut for this. So like I said, I put up on an inverted V one time. It wasn't actually cut to be an inverted V. Man, this is a mess. How'd you roll this up, Jack? There we go. There's two pieces. Oops, I don't know what that is. I know, Jack, burn the edges of these things. Look at these things. I gotta burn these. I gotta fix them. I got a lot of stuff to fix up. I've been doing so much POTA that I haven't been trying to fix the gear at all. Alright, let's see about this. See which one's on which side. There we go there. There we go there. Break those apart. Put that one over there. Okay. Take this one. Put a piece of paracord here. Tie this leg out. Also wanted to see, getting the antenna away from my house will cut some of the noise down. So I'm planning on putting an antenna behind the garage, I think. All right. So let's try to get this camera here, over here, where it went to sleep on me again. Come down at about, I don't know, 45-degree angle here on it. And we're just going to tent stake it into the ground here. That looks pretty good. So like right here. Let's tie her off. Looks pretty good. Not really using them as guide ropes, but you can see it going from there, okay, back up to the antenna, up there, okay. Let's do the other side, much the same way. See, the garden's empty there. I cleaned it all out last week. Oh, that's the coax. I don't want the coax. I want the actual wire. I want this. All right. That's kind of weird. It's actually, you see that up there? It's kind of right across my end fed, but that's all right. Not a big deal. All right. Let's tie this one on this side. I'm just tying the other guide rope around the insulator. And hopefully I got enough coax to get into the garage. All right. I've got to get my glasses so I can see the Nano VNA. All right, let's stake this one down here. That thing's still bending. I don't know if I'll ever find a mast that doesn't bend. I guess they have to, though. They have to really bend anyway because, I mean, God, they would be heavy. There we go. So that's that side. Yeah, look how it's bending up there. You see that? I hate when that thing bends. But it is an inverted V. You know what I could have did? I know why it's bending. It's the coax. That's why it's bending. Huh. I should have taped that coax down that pole. But being it's a temporary installation, we're not going to do that. And drag this wire over here. Let's get another piece of coax. I don't know if I'm going to have enough coax to get in the house. Man, what? All right. Let me go get my glasses and the Nano VNA set up and try to get this coax figured out to get this into the garage. I don't want to put the G90. I mean, I could. It's a beautiful day, but all right, let me get that done. Okay, I don't know if you can see this or not, and I'm not really sure at this point if the legs need to be longer or shorter. I got a 2.4 match, 2.4 with the Nano VNA, and that's within the CW range, pretty much. 14 megahertz to 14.050, kind of where we hang out in the CW range here. So the first time it was going crazy, I went out and the actual mast was laying in the grass, so yeah, that was bad. But at least it has a match, and I'm sure that the G90 can actually tune that down, so I'm not really concerned about that. But I would like to know in the comments below, if you've made it this far through this video, I know this is a long one, tell me, would the legs have to be shorter or longer on that part? I shortened them and it really didn't make that much of a difference. If anything, it might have, I can't tell if it increased or not. So it might need to be a little bit longer. All right, I'm going to set the G90 up here, hook this to the G90 and see what I can hear. All right, my friends, well, the antenna's up, it's working. I just recorded this and I forgot to hit the record button. Rookie mistake there, huh? Anyway, as you've seen on the Nano VNA, you know, it's about a 2.48 roughly. I'm going to show you again here, I just showed, but I'm going to show you on the actual radio itself. I'm going to do a SWR sweep. You can see there in the CW bands, it's flat, pretty much flat match at this point. I did have to run the antenna tuner. I tuned it down with the antenna tuner. Before the antenna tuner, I did an SWR sweep, and it was showing the same as the Nano VNA, like a 2.48 roughly. But as I said, the G90, man, people say, oh, that'll tune a wet noodle. Well, I guess, because it tuned it very well. I didn't have any problems. Just to show you here, it is working. I did make I was doing some hunting, so I contacted Georgia and North Carolina here. There's their call signs. The signal reports aren't great, 559, 579, but kind of holds to what we have here at the house on a normal day-to-day basis. So, you know, it's fine. Is it an earth-shattering antenna? No, but it shows what you can make with, you know, what did I pay for in parts here? $7.46. So a couple pieces of speaker wire and that banana clip is all it's up there. I think the SWR straight off a little bit because I have the toroid in the one coax, and I got 7 ferrite beads on the secondary coax that I use all the time. So it could be what's throwing the SWR off too. I don't know, but it works, and I'm going to play around here a little bit more with it. I'm going to try to get up on voice just to see what people sound like up there and see. And I don't really do a lot of SSB stuff. You know, you guys know I'm more of a CW junkie. I really like CW. I like the QSOs you make, and I have rag chewed with CW, so it's just kind of cool, you know. It's just something different. So guys, if you made it to this part of the video, thank you so much for watching. You know, do consider smashing that subscribe button. Give the video a big thumbs up. If you made it this far, might as well stick around, right? See what's next. And I don't know what's next. I got some more antenna builds in my head. It's getting to be that time of year where it's going to be winter. I can fire up the heater in the garage here and I can build some antennas, throw them outside, and sit here in the garage and play radio. So, guys, thank you again so much for watching this episode of Whiskey 3 Charlie Tango W3CT, your good old friend Jack. And guys, I will talk to you next time. Until then, man, keep out there, keep working POTA stations, keep hunting, keep activating. And if you haven't activated, why not? Get out there. It's a lot of fun to sit up in the park and just chill out and activate. Either voice or CW or FT8 if that's your thing. So whatever it is, get out there and activate a park. Guys, I'll talk to you next time. 73s, and I'll see you on the airways. Bye for now, everybody. Take care.